this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use folders, groups, and labels within the SEOmonitor platform. Getting this part right is really important as it will really help your workflow, especially when you're working with keywords at scale, so you can make more informed decisions more efficiently. When working with groups, folders, and labels through SEOmonitor, the first step impression undertakes, even before we touch the software, is to understand how our portfolio is going to be categorized via a Google Sheet. This allows us to work better at scale with a more developed keyword tracking structure and allows us to understand where certain keywords can be associated to more than one keyword group. Conveniently as well, from a workflow perspective, it also provides nice continuity from the keyword research process, something that's typically handled within a spreadsheet, to the actual keyword monitoring process. So here's an example that we created for the purposes of this video. So this particular client sells water softeners. That's their core product. That's their head term. And you can see across the corresponding columns how we're intending to group and structure the SEOmonitor campaign. We can talk more later around how we look to cluster these keywords. But for now, you can see how we're able to easily organize the best part of 455 keywords into a whole range of different keyword groups. For this approach to work, this is simply how the Google Sheet should be organized. So there's no need for headings. Just include the keyword list within the first column. And depending on the amount of groups you intend to use, include those in the subsequent columns. So here, columns B, C, D, and E. Once you're happy with the structure, simply download as a CSV and upload the file into SEOmonitor, either via the campaign wizard, say when you're creating a new campaign, or via edit mode for existing campaigns. So we're a few steps ahead here, as when you upload your CSV into SEOmonitor using the process outlined before, the software is going to upload these as groups. What Impression does then, for deeper organization, is to then add these groups into folders. So folders work at the top level, where you can then nest groups into these at a secondary level. We've already assigned the majority of our groups into folders, as you can see here. But there's one group remaining here that I'll now assign into a folder so you can see how to action that. So if you head over to edit mode, click on this drop down here, nest under, and I'll be adding the skin benefits group into the wider benefits folder, as that's of course where it makes the most topical sense to be structured. For the most part, we've created groups and folders here using typical clusters that you'd almost expect to see where they adhere to the client's site structure. However, a nice trick is to almost go one step further than this and assign folders and groups via audience or search behaviours. So here, as an example, we've created the folder around the ADA model, where within this folder, we've then created groups around awareness, interest, desire, and action, and nested all of this into this ADA folder. If you want to go even one step further than this and structure these in a more funnel-like way, you can then go back into edit mode, where you would rename the group and assign numbers to those so they begin organizing themselves into a funnel-like way. So I'll just quickly sort that now. And now if I was to refresh that, you can see it's been organized as a funnel, as it's intended to be used. We can then see at a top level how our content strategy is performing and where within the conversion funnel we're missing out on organic visibility. So here, awareness 12% in comparison to interest, desire, and action that hold high and greater organic visibility. Looking into it, I think this is the part that particularly interests me, as it's tailored more towards user-focused SEO rather than keyword-focused SEO. Another idea then could be to structure folders and groups perhaps according to search intent, where your top level folder would be just that, so search intent, and then the individual groups nested within those would cover information, navigation, commercial investigation, and transaction. As a final consideration then, you also have the option of using labels as a means to organise your keyword campaign within SEOmonitor. So these almost act as a third level in comparison to folders and groups. So folders act as the top level, as mentioned before, groups then as the second level, and labels as the third level. How you want to structure these and use these to your benefit is entirely up to you. You have that flexibility, but one way we use them at Impression is almost as a means to structure our work and structure our campaigns. So if I show you an example, if I was to enter edit mode, and then let's say topics around how much water you should drink a day, how many liters, etc. We can assign these as part of phase 1 activity. And you can see the labels present themselves here. And then further to that, topics around removing lime scale or descaling a kettle. We can then assign that to phase 2 of the campaign in and amongst other topics and other work. And once we exit edit mode, these are all filterable as well, where if we were to click on these labels, you can see the data is filtered here, where it just reveals keywords related to phase 2 in this instance. And we can also edit these filters via the filter functionality itself, or even save that as a smart group.